Hi guys, Jay Smith here, down at a very cold Berry Golf Range in Suffolk. Ping G425 Max Driver time. Apologies to my subscribers and everyone who was expecting, stroke wanting, the content earlier, but because of the global situation, my samples didn't come in time. So that means, unfortunately, yeah, a bit late, but better late than never. So the Ping G425 Max, we've gone back to the Max. It's not a song, is it? Back to, anyway, the G400. So that sold really well, the G400 Max, very, very well. And then they went, obviously, G410, but they dropped the Max and went Plus. And then they've gone back to the Max, so there must be a reason why Max works best. But yeah, this is the one that's going to be uber forgiving. And I've done some testing already on this one, because it's been snowy. So cameras aren't waterproof, snowproof. So yeah, we'll hit a few shots because there's no point in going down the route of hitting loads and loads and loads. I've got quad on the floor, FS6 mobile caption as well. And we're going to, so this head, so we'll talk about the tech whilst we hit shots. But for some reason, and I think it's because of the lie angle of these things, so Ping drivers, generally speaking, are quite upright when it comes to the toe sits up like, not like that, but that gives you an idea. And they have in this adjustable neck, which is set at minus, always does for me. I've got a 10.5 head, also comes in, does it come in 9 and 12? Something like that. I'll pop down there, what comes in. But I whack the loft straight down. So this is at 9 degrees, so it's not as low as necessary that I'd like it, so I can't, custom fit it as best I can do with loft. I've got in the AV, there you go, 10-site AV series. Got new shafts for this year. So Ping is spending some dosh when it comes to the available custom fit shafts, which is cool. Also got this Arcos in the back. There you go. Right, down by the ball, 460 head. Bigger than the LS Tech at 445, but it's got a nice footprint to it. And we'll go hit this one, you'll be able to hear the noise. So I'm just getting this normally, because this one wants to go a little bit left most of the time. Yep, there it goes. So I have to feel like I have to hold these off a bit. Not as much as the SF. The SF Tech, the anti-slice machine, wants to go for me over there. So I have to hold everything off. But, don't know if you heard the noise. There's a different noise to this one to the LS Tech. There is a distinct difference in noise. This is a bit more, I'm just going to like bucket-like, hollow. There's a bit more of a hollowness to this than there is the LS Tech. Top of the head is different. You've still got the old turbulation. You haven't actually on the fairway and hybrid. Don't think you have on the fairway. No, just got some dots, but we'll get into that one, different video. The 460 with the ribs inside have made it sound a little bit hollow. You definitely know you're hitting a driver. It's quite loud, but it's nice. I mean, I like it. I actually quite like the fact that it was quite a more aggressive look of the Dragonfly. It's a bit more refined. When I say refined, is less of it. It's still there, but the basic Dragonfly is designed to thin off the top of the crown so you can place the weight at the bottom. And we'll hit this one, and I'll hold this one off a little bit. But we'll talk about the little weight in the back. Is that the T? Chong. It's nice. That is nice. Yeah, I'll use this tee again, thank you. So the back of the club, you've got at the base, you've got that weight. And that's a massive weight. That's 16 grams, I think it is. Comment below if you know better. Or if I've got it completely wrong. I'll put it down there how much it is anyway. Because why this little track is different for this year. Now, with the 410, you had effectively a lot larger track. So you could effectively move the weight, more draw, more heel biased. So if you've got that track to move everything from heel to toe, you can do that. The problem is when you're having to put the weight into the heel or toe, the weight on the other side, the heel or the toe, because of the track, is kind of taking the effectiveness of that weight away. Make the track smaller, but make that weight heavier, have some more effect. There you go. See? All right, anyone bored yet? Put your hands up. Last one, and then we'll go do some proper data. I like it. This is going to suit too much spin for me, too much launch, etc. for me, but this is going to suit many, many different people. So anyway, let's go into custom fitting studio. I was going to hit it a bunch of times with some real balls, not range balls. And let's go see exactly how forgiving this thing is. So guys, now in the custom fitting studio after hitting a load of shots with the Ping G425 Max Driver. Now it's a 10.5 head, knocked down to 9 degrees. I honestly would need the lower lofted head and then crank it down even more for me to be able to properly get distance that I would want out of this. But again, this club is not necessarily designed for distance in mind. It wants to basically hit target. It's supposed to be, within reason, the straightest golf club on the planet, or golf driver anyway. So let's go have a look at the ball data first. Have a quick look at a couple of shots there, which I have purposely been playing around with. Yeah, we'll go do that in a minute. So on average, ball data is 156.7 miles an hour, so slightly lower than an average of normal because of the fact I've got too much loft, but again, we're not talking about distance, it's forgiveness, etc. Launching at 15.4, spinning at 2.5, again, too much backspin for ultimate distance, but again, we're not talking about distance. Yep. We won't say any more about that. So we're descending at 43.6 again, and then a peak height of 43. That again is too high because of the loft. That will come down with a lower lofted driver, and then obviously get more rollout with a lower peak height, etc. But it's going 11 yards left on average. You can see there by the list, and I have hit loads of shots. You can see it just scroll through the top. But there are a couple there. You can see 3 there that have necessarily, do they stick out because they're all saying right. And that's because I was messing about. I was trying to showcase necessarily what this club can and cannot do. But yeah, so average of 273 yards on carry, so it's around about sort of 10 or 12 yards lower than what I would normally see for this club. Give me a different head, lower lofted, and it will go back up there. So let's go quickly have a look at the first 3 there, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10. There you go, 10 up. You've got 3 shots, one 3.8 yards, one 47.4 yards, and one 27.8 yards right. That is finished with rollout offline, and you can see they're distinctly different to the rest. So let's go show you why they're distinctly different to the rest. Let's take the top one, the 10th one from the bottom. So the 3.8 yards offline. Looking at the club data on it, it was 108 miles an hour, 1 into out, 0.6 closed. So basically the babyest draw ever. But look at the strike. 1 mil hill, 17 mil low. 17 mil low. That is like right off the bottom. Now bear in mind, heads are only a certain size. That's 3/4 of an inch low. If anyone knows anything about gear effect, if you hit low on the face, yes, it will spin up, but also what it will do, it will cut off to the right hand side. So that ball should finish right of target by a certain amount. What does it actually do? It finishes right by 3.8 yards. That is it, 3.8 yards. So basically it's hit it straight from a strike which should cut it massively. Well done, Ping. Next one, 47.4 yards right. So that is right. Let's see what happened to it. It was, again, basically 0 path and then 2 degrees open. So that face is facing not at target, it's facing a couple of degrees open, and then I hit it 24 mil low. 24 mil low is an inch off of middle. I purposely tried to hit some wacko shots. Now that was very wacko. I'm glad to have made contact with it with 24 mil low. The problem is you get to a certain point, 18 mil, or the one before that was 17 mil low, which is 3/4 of an inch, and it still did its job. Now we're pushing the boundaries. An inch is too far for the golf club to ever be forgiving. It's an inch off of middle. I don't know how tall these golf clubs are, but they can't be much more than 2 inches tall. And then the face was 2 degrees open. So it's going to go right. You can't get around that. The face is looking right, the ball's going to go right, especially with that strike. So there you go. So we've reached the level of what is sensible. Next one. This one's gone 27.8 yards right, so not as much. But on the right-hand rough, you would say it's not. You're not waving by to it, but it's still right. And we did that with path fairly square, face basically 2 degrees open. This time with a 15mm heel and 23mm low. The heel helped because the roll and bulge that make the ball start a bit further left, but that is recoverable. 27 yards is offline, yes it is, and it's in the rough, but you'll find that, and that is with a 2 degree open face and a 15mm heel, 23mm low. That's an inch again off the bottom. This club is an amazing thing. You can hit it that badly and still find it. Most, if not all other drivers, most drivers, you'd be waving to that, even if it gets off the floor with an inch off the effective middle. So let's go into the club data on average. We won't sort of look at those. Let's do the club data averages then, as you can actually see. 109.2 miles an hour when it comes to club head speed. Again, it's a ping. It's a heavy head, and even with a counterbalance shaft, I can't swing a ping up at normal speed. That's the thing about having a forgiving head. Heavy head means, unfortunately, what most people find out, slightly slower. But look at the efficiency, 1.43 on average. And that is with some of them poor shots in there included as well. Because of the heavy head, you're always going to get good efficiency. So don't worry necessarily about having a slow swing speed, because you're going to get a lot more potential efficiency out of a ping than you do anything else because of the heavy head. 6.3 on upwards angle attack on average, 0.4, 0.9, very 0 generally speaking, and within reason, slightly low and slightly toe, but I mean 7mm and 4mm is nothing. It was more to do with necessarily this data set of hitting some weird and wonderful shots and necessarily showing you what the club could and could not do. Is it more forgiving than its predecessor? Definitely. Are you going to see that in a session? Possibly not. I mean, I'm showcasing literally the extreme level of strike of how it can and cannot perform. If you're mishitting a golf club by an inch or more in any direction, necessarily I would not be thinking about getting a new driver or a new golf club as the effective change that you need to make your golf better. It's by far lessons, but it's just to show necessarily how good potentially this golf club is. So yeah, I mean, I'll put the comparison data on there anyway, but that's just a summary of basically what I've just said. Ignore the strike page, foresight. If you're going to make an update to anything, can you just make sure the strike is actually, I mean, 7mm toe, 4mm low does not depict that anyway. That's my little gripe for foresight. Great otherwise, but yeah, one little bug they still never fixed. So, hope you liked that one. If you did, comment below. A bit more data-y stuff, but again, this is the most forgiving head in golf, apparently. So let's give it a go and try. So it just sort of show all the good and bad bits, what it can and cannot do. So down there, yeah, comment, like, next to it, red button, click that one, and also next to it, bell icon. If you click that one, that'll let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.